All right, welcome everyone. We're live back for round 6 of Zenith Online Racing Season 10. This is Tier 1 taking on Hungary tonight. I'm Arbiga. I'll be joined shortly by GP Colin, who is on the update, updating his game yet again. I have to teach him how to get his system to update while it's in rest mode, so must have that setting turned off. But yeah, back for round 6. We got 15 cars out here tonight. Villeneuve are reserved, so it doesn't count. So 14 full-time drivers. A little disappointing. It is a holiday. Obviously, expect a few people not to make it for those reasons. But we do have 20 full-time drivers on the grid now, so it would be nice to see a little more than 14 show up. Moving forward here, this is round 6 now, so this will be the 33% mark of the season after this race is complete. So we need to get a few more people showing up every week. It's getting a little sad. So tonight we have Say out, Rex out, and Rockstar is out. Rex has not made many races yet, but he was busy for the beginning part of the season, which was understood, so it's fine. No big deal there. I think moving forward, he'll be here more often than not. Rick Diver having some technical issues, so he's had to drop out. And then Rockstar didn't make it. Quaminator didn't make it either. He's put tentative the last couple weeks and just hasn't communicated otherwise and not shown up. So I'll touch base with a couple of those guys before next week. And we do have some reserve drivers now that are going to be joining Tier 1 and kind of just sitting on the sidelines. So if those guys are not going to be here regularly, maybe we swap them out. It'd be the right thing to do if you don't have the motivation to come every week or don't plan to be here every week and you just kind of want to race when you feel like it, then best to give up that seat and let someone else take over that wants to race every week. So we'll look into that for the following week. But yeah, hoping to get a little bit better attendance as we move into the mid part of the season here. And I shouldn't let a few bad apples ruin the bunch, because everybody that's here tonight, for the most part, and obviously Say not being here is a bit of a one-off. He's usually here most weeks. But having Say not show up is unfortunate, but it's good news for Jinnit, that's for sure. I'm sure he'll be thrilled. There's Asylum right to the top, right out of the gate. He has shown up for his first race of the season, so we are slowly starting to get the gang back together. Oh, look at some Mogless right up to the top. There we go. Zem with a really nice quality lap to start things off. RC with the 120, obviously not very representative. Probably wasn't pushing too hard. He had a bit of a mistake somewhere. And who's that? Just jumped up. Gourd Sauce, I believe, right in the mix. Alpine coming across with Sniper up to P2. Man, these are really competitive. Look at the top 4. 343, 345, 374, 379. Sorry, the top 5, 387. So we're talking 400s between first and fifth right now. That is extremely tight. So let's make that 500s between first and sixth, with Adri joining the party. Yeah, this is going to be a fun race. Everybody's that close to one another on outright pace. This is going to be a really, really tough battle. It'll really come down to strategy, tire management, fuel load, stuff like that. Might be a big factor tonight. Let's spin and win back again. He's made a few of the races now the last few weeks, so you see him getting into a groove. And he's very competitive as well, so he should be pushing towards the top 4 there. But yeah, credit to the guys that are here every week, week in, week out, especially in Tier 1 and Tier 2. Can't really run a league if people don't show up consistently. So, the guys that are missing tonight that normally are here, you can't really fault too much. Expect them 80 to 90% of the races. That's fine. And like we said, Rex busy. Rex been around for a long time, so he's got a little bit of leeway there. And he did tell me he was busy for the first part of the season, and then today I believe it's his birthday today, or he's celebrating his birthday. So happy birthday to Rex. He's busy doing that, and he's off celebrating the holiday with his family as well. So unfortunately, I think he was meant to be back last week, but didn't actually race. Did Rex race last week? I don't think he was here, was he?
You're asking me? I just joined.
Yeah.
I just didn't hear the beginning of that. I don't know
what
you're
talking about. Rex. I'm not sure if Rex. I think he was meant to be racing last week, but I don't know if he actually did. Can't remember if
he was not. I do not believe he was here last week.
No. Either that or got taken out right away. Somebody got taken out really early, right? Who hadn't raced yet and they showed up.
Who was it? Yeah, it was like first or second lap.
Yeah. I can't remember, but anyway, so he's out tonight. I believe he said it was his birthday and also the holiday, so he should be back. He'll be back at some point. I mean, it's just starting to get to the point of the season where we need these people to start showing up if they're actually planning to hang on to that full-time seat all season. Like, you got to get your ass in here and race.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, to be honest, I'm content with the turnout tonight. I was kind of expecting a little more based on the check-ins. It looked like a few people just kind of bailed last minute. But obviously at the start of the day, I wasn't terribly optimistic that we're going to have a great grid tonight just because it is a holiday. Sometimes people are away. They're coming home from weekend off, weekend away, whatever the case is, right? So, Carson up to the top.
Nice.
I don't know if you've looked at the times yet, but it is extremely competitive.
Just getting into the setup right now.
So we got Carson on provisional pole, spin and win second, Zimaglis third, separated by about 2/10 at the top there. And then from Zimaglis down, we got Zimaglis 343, Sniper 345, Asylum 374, Jinnit 379, Gord 387, Adri 407. That takes us down to P8.
Incredible.
There's 3/10 between the top 8. So yeah.
Good to see PWR Asylum back. His first race of the season, I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. It is his first race. I think he was supposed to race last week and then dropped out last second. So maybe Rex was here and then ended up getting crashed out early.
I remember there was an unfortunate
it was someone
between two guys. Yeah.
It was someone who hadn't raced yet, and they finally showed up, and then they got taken out on like lap 1. Something like that. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't either. But I don't think it was Wreck Diver. I really don't.
No, Wreck.
Possible.
I don't think it might have been Wreck, actually, but I was saying Rex, not Wreck.
Oh.
Like IRT Rex.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Wreck Diver had some kind of problem with his system, so that's why he's not here. He was having problems, like the corrupted file or something like that. Which I think is an uninstall, reinstall issue. So, he should be back next week. Call that a technical failure. Anyways.
Asylum up to P1 provisional pole.
Yeah, do you remember preseason? He was one of the quickest guys out there, and he just hasn't been here. So, I mean, 15-8.
He's obviously been practicing this race.
Yeah, he wanted to make his return impactful for sure. And the good news for him is no Seye tonight. So, if say Asylum gets up to the top and ends up winning the race, he eats 25 points out of Seye's point total for the season. And I believe Jinnit obviously is kind of your lead horse right now, right? But
yes,
if Asylum has that pace over Jinnit, then you got to think there's enough season left for him to make a dent in it.
Let's see. I can go over the driver standings right now. Tier 1, Jinnit 104 in the lead. Zaye, 93 in second. Big drop to Carson at 53. Wreck Diver, 37. Lunar Jedi, 36. Gord Sauce in 6th with 32. Sniper with 26 in P7. P8, Spot Up Triples with 23. Zamoglis, 17. Spin and Win rounds out the top 10 with 15. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other point scorers. That's Scavney and Quaminator with 12. RC with 11. Sam, Private, and Adri all have 10. T-Money has 6. And Rockstar has 1. Mr. Joshua, Exorcity, Rex, and Asylum have yet to score a point. But that should change tonight for Asylum.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Looking pretty competitive today. I'm on board with Spinnerman right now. He's doing a hot lap. He's in the mix for pole position, one of the quicker first laps we've had today, so we'll see if he can do some damage here. Little wobble there coming through that chicane. Got it under control pretty nicely. Maybe cost him a 10th.
So I just hopped on board with Jinnit. He's dropped down to P8, nearly half a second back. So 6 minutes left. This is gonna, I mean, this is probably his last good chance here.
It's a fairly short lap. I think we maybe get one more run in. There goes Spin and Win on the provisional pole. So Asylum has some work to do now. He's in the garage currently, and he's gonna have to come out and make an impact here. But yeah, let's get him on board with Jinnit, as you said, coming through sector 2 now. And he's up a 10th and a half, which is actually a large positional gain if you can maintain that. But say it improves 3/10, that takes him up to P4. That's a big difference. I think Jinnit starting in the top 5 is always a threat to win the race. I mean, really, he's a threat to win from anywhere on the grid. But if you give him a top 5 start, he's probably going to get there.
Currently half a second up. It would put him into P3, I believe. P2. He might be going for a second run here. Nope.
Good lap, though. I mean, he got well ahead of where I expected him to. So it seems like the track's coming alive a little bit, and guys are making up a lot more time in the final sector there, probably where it's a little more dependent on grip. Be interesting to see the way these guys set up as well, because overtaking is so difficult here that running low wings, if you can just manage to stay with the pack, might actually give you an advantage to give you that slight edge to get those moves done. Just watching Spot Up Triples now. He's just about to finish his lap, looking pretty solid. He's got a decent time on the board already. See if he can improve on that and get himself up into the top 5. He's heading into the pits. Okay. He must have had some kind of issue there. So Air 211 Nick, newcomer. He's taken over that AlphaTauri seat full time. He wasn't 100% sure if he was gonna. We were sort of discussing if he had the T1 pace or if he was a T2 guy. But he said he'd like to give T1 a shot, and he thinks he can hang there. So, I mean, right now he's close to RC and T-Money, who are going to be T1 guys. So, you know, if he can mix it up with those guys, really his time is not that far off. I mean, he's a couple tenths down on a top 10, so should be in good shape. Should be good. I mean, he's ahead of a few guys that have been here for the whole season, so he's got something to build on there for sure. It's always good to see someone eager as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Willing to take a bite at T1, even though he probably could have gone to T2 and fought for wins. I'd imagine anybody down at the bottom of T1 here could probably go to T2 and fight for some wins. So
yeah, I think so.
It is a tough It's a tough, when you get a new guy who's kind of like right on the fringe of both, it's kind of hard to decide where they want to go. I kind of just leave it up to them. I'm like, you can probably fight for points in T1 or fight for wins in T2. So, like, what would you rather do?
Samaglis here might put himself into P3 or 4.
There you go. P2.
P2.
By 8 thousandths. Really, really, really good lap time from Samaglis there. I was on board with him for that whole lap, so it was well picked up by you there to bring it up right at the end of his lap. RC on a hot lap now. He needs a big improvement here, so let's ride with RC, see what he can do. Hasn't been practicing much, probably busy chasing those kiddos around.
Yeah, they must be walking now, right?
The kids?
Wasn't it a couple of years ago that he had a baby?
Yeah, I think so. I imagine. I know I've seen a picture of him from a few years back with a little youngling, so he's probably at that age where he's running amok now. Maybe not at 2 in the morning in Northern Ireland, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah, right.
Probably eats up most of his day where he doesn't have time to sit down and practice.
Hopefully not now.
Yeah.
And
okay, good improvement.
Slight improvement.
Yeah, I mean, the time's there. It's really just the bad position he's in. P10's not great, but, you know, a couple tenths and suddenly he jumps up the board 4 spots, right? So.
Yeah. All right. Not Zem. Janet is just rounding the last corner here to start a hot lap. Currently in 4th. How do you say that? 132 thousandths of a second? Or 2? Yeah, how do you say that?
The difference between Jin and who?
Janet's at 0.132 behind. That's what, 132 thousandths?
I would say like a 10th and a half is what I would call that. About a 10th and a half down, yeah.
Much easier to say.
Just rounding up, yeah. Round up a little bit. And if it was like 102, then I would just say a 10th, right?
Yep. So let's see. How's he? Oh, I missed this first split time.
So did I. A big wobble there coming out of the chicane, though. Just gonna have to find a little bit more pace to. No, he stayed on the track, but definitely needed a split second there before he stood on the pedal. So it's gonna cost him a bit. And he is down.
He came off. Oh wow, yeah, he's got to be disappointed.
So I don't think he will improve. That's probably good news for Zem, unless he's got some time left in this final few corners.
Well, wasn't it last week that he made up an incredible amount of time in the 3rd sector?
And there's Spin and Win, I think, was it Asylum just crossed the line? He's done. Then it doesn't improve. So Spin and Win looking like he's on for pole. He's out of fuel or he's just driving really slow? Gotta be careful here. Who else do we got? Red Bull coming around. That's Carson. See what he can do. He's been really competitive this season. Just hasn't strung together the good results. See if he can do something here. And it's up 15-8. Man, that is so marginally close to jumping 4 positions. That has to be infuriating. He could have been up in P3 if he just got 2 hundredths out of that. Adri up to P5. So he does get that couple extra hundredths. Spot Up Triples coming around. See if he can do. Adri and Spot Up a pretty solid team for the Haas. They've been putting some good races together. So see if they can score some more points tonight. Spot Up Triples coming around. Good lap from Spot Up. Not enough to improve though. And that looks like that's it for quali. So Spin and Win takes his. I think that's his maiden pole here. I'm not 100% sure, but. That might be his first pole position in the tier, and Asylum P2. Suddenly McLaren looking very strong. That is a strong team, Spin and Win in Asylum. Yeah. Just kind of the way things fell. Just sort of plugging and playing driver. I guess Spin and Win we didn't really know about when Asylum picked him at the start of the season, so probably shouldn't have let those two be teammates, but we didn't really know. So yeah, Spin and Win on pole. Asylum 2nd. Zamaglas will take 3rd. Janet will take 4th. Adri 5th. Carson 6th. Sniper 7th. Spot Up 8th. Sam 9th. RC's 10th. 11th for Air. Nick. T-Money 12th. JetJu 13th. 14th for Villeneuve, and Gord is 15th. Gord disqualified, so he'll start at the back. Walking the pit lane, I believe I read. So wonder if he was...
Jeez.
If he was... Did he lose the car, or did he just stop to let someone go into turn 1, maybe?
Ooh.
It does
A
look
little cloudy.
Does look a little cloudy. Did your wife just get home? I heard your dog's barking.
They're not my dogs.
Really?
I think the wife and kids dogs are upstairs, so 2 floors up.
Huh. I swear I heard a dog bark. Like very, very faintly.
It's possible, but I don't hear them at all. I think they
No.
went upstairs.
No, it was like the quiet, like it's mainly because there's no other noise right now. I just thought I heard a dog bark. And I always remember it was like, usually like right after we started, like usually like 10 minutes after we started our stream, your wife would always come home and dogs would start going nuts. But it's been a while
They're
since I
such
heard them.
loving dogs, though, so yeah.
Of course.
I couldn't hurt them if I had to.
No, I'm not suggesting that you hurt your dogs for
shut
barking.
up.
Yeah, for barking during the stream.
Shut up.
The stream. Shut it! Or GP. Get a hold of those fucking mutts. What are you doing? Mucking up.
Mute your mic.
Mucking up our
Mute your mic.
mucking up our stream with their barking. No, I don't care. We get
Yeah, it's not quite
ASMR cat purring every week on the.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not as disturbing. That is not disturbing. Your cat purring
It's just
is
intrusive.
a wonderful sound.
Yeah, intrusive though. It's like, oh, there's a cat all of a sudden.
Well, Bigga, is that you purring?
Yeah.
I mean, you can say it's your cat, but
Hey,
we can't really be sure.
If we ever get a full grid, I might be purring.
We haven't had a full grid in quite a while, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
the turnout this year has been better than it was last year to this point.
Absolutely. We're not stringing together 12 car races consistently. We've had 15 or more every week, I think.
I think so too.
So actually, this isn't a bad showing it's not a bad showing for a holiday. Like I said, I can't complain too much, but
Well, this is pretty cool to see 2 McLarens starting the race up front.
yeah, it is going to be interesting. Spin and Win and Asylum. I mean, they in the chat right now. He said, "Let's bring it home 1-2." I don't know if Asylum wants to be the 1 or the 2, but I think Spin and Win's probably. Spin and Win's quick enough to win the race if he gets some help from his teammate. But if Asylum gets in the way there, I mean, let's give Zem some credit here. Starting P3, man, that's got to be his best start in multiple seasons. Like I can't remember last time I saw Zamogla start up this high. That's really good for him. Jinnit too at P4. He's in perfect position to do some damage.
Yeah,
Adri,
that's trouble.
Adri in P5, who deserved a better result last week. I think he was taken out in kind of a fluky thing. Like we've had a couple. Same with Carson. Really, Carson's been sort of one of those guys too. He gets tangled up in crap and deserves better every week. And it keeps happening to certain guys. It seems it's like a magnet for incidents or something.
Yeah, this corner though is one of the more forgiving first corners that we have on this.
It is very wide,
schedule.
and there's a lot of runoff. If you do end up in a pickle, you can kind of get out of it. Evasive action actually usually can keep you in the race, whereas sometimes evasive action into turn 1, like say Japan, you end up out of the race. Yeah, mostly everybody on the mediums. Gord starting on the softs at the back. Nick is starting on the hards, which I don't mind as a strategy, honestly, from where he is. P11, it's a pretty good shout. But let's get the grid reformed. That is the back of the field, parking up right now. Gord about to take his final spot, and we are ready to go racing in Hungary for round 6 of Tier 1. It's Season 10 of Zenith Online Racing. Let's get this thing fired up.
Interesting to note real quick, Gordsaw's starting in last place with the softs. Everybody else on
I
mediums. With
found that
Eric.
interesting. I was thinking maybe a safety car plan there. He's hoping for a safety car. I don't know what just happened.
I don't either. That was weird. Oh, and... Oh, great. Are we going to have to reset the lobby?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, man. Oh. What the heck?
Yeah, no, I think it's a redo because it didn't pick up Gord for some reason.
Yeah, well, let's see. I could take a picture of the grid. Yeah, maybe that'll help.
As soon as people drop out, it always starts working. It's such a stupid game. Such a stupid game. Anyway, GP, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the GP this past weekend? It was pretty interesting.
Oh, great. About what? I
What?
didn't hear that part.
I was saying,
yeah,
you want to talk about the GP from this past weekend? It was very, very interesting, actually.
I didn't see it, so
no?
I can't. No, I was camping, and quite frankly, I couldn't get the damn channel.
Oh, so you're not going to watch it, or?
I hope to on a replay.
Would you rather not know then?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's not talk about it then.
I'd rather not know.
All right. If you could, I can probably. I think I can give you my F1 TV. Does that work in the U.S.? I could probably give you my F1 TV if you wanted to watch it on there.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, it's like you'd have to use a laptop or whatever, but
that's fine.
Yeah, basically you just log in and I don't know if you've ever used that app, but basically like on the main page there'll be like a screenshot of whatever video they're suggesting you watch. Probably be like Racing 30 or something like that. And if you just like, there's little arrows on either side of it, and you just tab backward until you see like 2023 Italian Grand Prix or something like that. And then click on it and just click watch from start or whatever it should be.
Well, it would be the Hungary Grand Prix, correct?
No, it was Monza.
Oh! Yeah. I'm mixing up reality and this game.
Yes.
Which I do oftentimes.
Our calendar for this year, for the actual game, is it's actually randomized, so it's not going to overlap with the real life calendar at any point. I might accidentally, but it wasn't intentional. Did you need an invite back to the lobby, or? I got one, but I didn't see the notification, so I'm just going to send you one.
I'm going to see right now if I got one.
Should. I think Carson's got it set up so it just invites everyone who's a part of the tier.
I got yours. So, are you saying that Gord Sauce joined late? That might have affected the lobby? No. Are other games like this, other online games? I mean, this is the only game I play, so I have no experience with other games to compare this to. But this game, like I was saying in the chat, it's like every freaking time I turn the game on, there's an update. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
They spend a year fucking putting the damn thing together, and then they spend another year sending patches out.
Yeah, and that's pretty much every modern game now.
They gotta do something about this frickin' lobby music, I could tell you that.
Yeah, it's brutal. I'm just gonna try and get these guys back in here.
Are these real, like, commercial songs, or are these songs made up for this game?
The theme music, or like is it
Yeah,
actual
like
like songs
what I'm hearing right now
on the stream, or yeah?
in the lobby. I mean, for me, I'm hearing some background music here.
Yeah, like orchestra music or something.
No, there's actually singing. Although,
Oh, well, that's not really singing. That's like vocalizing. Like the lady singing. It's like ah.
well, there were words.
Oh, okay. Well, there is like actual like music in the. Are we going? I think we're going. Did you spectate?
I'm spectating.
All right, let's go.
Because I wonder if guys are going to change their tire strategy, having seen, or having the ability to be able to look back and see what everybody else was starting on.
All right. Should
There we
be.
go.
Yeah, we should be able to get things rolling here. They're wondering about turning the formation lap off. I honestly haven't seen an issue with it all season since they've like fixed it. But the only thing I was thinking was like it was probably because Gord got disqualified from the qualifying, and then he was the one that wasn't like on the grid properly. Like he was like desynced or something, right? So I'm wondering if that had something to do with it. I've never noticed in the past that anyone who gets DSQ from qualifying doesn't like start the race properly, but
Yeah, that's not something that we've had to complain about. I mean, after they fixed it, it seems like everything was fine with the formation lap.
Yeah,
Both tier
exactly.
one, tier two, I didn't recognize any issues. But of course, these things come out of nowhere. So
Well, the weather looks nicer anyway.
oh, wow, how fortunate.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, if it was starting overcast and then clear the rest of the race, like, it's kind of hard to, like, you can't really
Oh yeah,
program, like, dynamic weather properly, right? So, I don't know. I don't really care.
oh
Whatever it
never.
looked like it was supposed to be from quali, which was probably, like, overcast to start and then dry or something like that. That's fine with me. As much as I would prefer the chaos, I also
Yeah,
like to
I
see
like
these
it.
guys racing heads up without any crap to
For sure. I mean,
muddy
as
it.
a driver, I want clear weather throughout, unless I feel confident that rain will help my
Yeah.
strategy. Um, but yeah, as a somebody watching these races, I like the uh, anxiety that it must create the drivers trying to figure out what their strategy should be, given that there's impending rain,
Hmm.
chaos, as you put it, and yes, there's a the kind of strategic guessing that has to go into it and all the different strategies that come about from it.
Yeah, exactly. It definitely adds some elements of random luck, I suppose, and things along those lines. But um, ideally, it's obviously situational, depending on things like this. But it's funny that it's like Jet Juice changed his mind about what tire to start on. Just gone to the softs now. It's just funny, eh?
And
You get that redo sometimes, and you like start questioning yourself. You're like, you know what, actually, I think I'm gonna do this instead.
yeah, Gord Sauce did not change tires. Private, yeah, Private did. Um, Everybody else stayed on the same tire.
Hmm. All right, let's try this again. I was ready for some racing. That took the wind right out of my sails. What are we drinking tonight, GP?
A whiskey sour.
Yeah,
Yourself?
I'm finishing one of my ciders. I had a couple ciders tonight.
Yeah.
This one is a blackberry cider. Tastes like candy, which is dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Those kinds of drinks can only last so long. You know,
They're like a one or
sweet.
two a
They're
night.
sweet.
Yeah, they're one or two a night. You can't drink them all night, right?
Be like trying to drink more than one glass of Riesling. Oh,
Yeah, I've done it.
so sweet.
That'll be the next thing though. After I finish the cider, we'll be on to the white wine for the rest of the night, and might have a might have a couple, and then we'll call it a night. I gotta work tomorrow. It's gonna be hot as shit tomorrow, and can't be
Yeah.
going to work half hungover when the heat's like that. So, especially my job, and I'm getting bloody relief.
You guys have
Working
AC
in
in your trucks?
no, they're horrendous.
Yeah.
They're like
Doors are
giant
open though.
saunas. They're giant saunas, man. Like, I still gotta go in the back to get stuff, and it's like 10 degrees hotter back there.
Oh,
Like, legitimately, someone put a thermometer in their truck, and they're like, yeah, whatever the temperature says, 10 degrees more in the back.
I should have
Which
some
is
vents in the back that you can open up to let some air in there.
some of them do for sure. But anyway, let's get this thing going.
Here we go.
We're ready to go racing for real this time. 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And it's lights out in Hungary. We are racing. Looks like a good start for Asylum. He's off to a really good start. And he's bringing
Yeah.
a Ferrari with him, Jinnit, into turn 1. They're side by side. This could be 3 wide, perhaps. Someone going to take a lunge. No, everybody's smart. Everybody does everything nice and smooth. Nothing clumsy. And yeah, looks like everybody's through. Looks like a pretty good start for Spin and Win. Actually held on to that position. Asylum gave him some grief, but he kept the spot. We got a few drivers squabbling here for P4 and 5, trying to get themselves in position for this tricky corner. Cold tires. Anybody going to fly off the road? Somebody looked like they went deep there. And it's a risky corner to try and lean on the tires too much on the first lap. Here we got Red Bull side by side, Zem and Carson. Looks like, oh, someone's gone way deep. That's Zem. Oh, keep it on the road. There you go. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. That was a good recovery from Zem. He got away with that. Unfortunate start for him, though. He started P3 and he's down in 14th. That's got to sting. I'm not sure what happened. I think maybe it was just the odd man out on the way into turn 1 there. He didn't really have like a good racing line, but yeah, Zem's got some work to do now. He knows he's got the pace though, so hopefully it'll keep him motivated. It's just so bloody hard to overtake here. And there we go. Lap 1 in the books. Spinning keeps the lead. Asylum is in second. Adri's having a look at Jinnit. And behind, we got Carson making a move on Sniper. Sniper got a really good start. He gained a few places there, but Carson has pipped him and got back in front. They are still wheel to wheel, though. This isn't a done deal yet. Now, Sniper with the inside line holds the place. And Carson with a little switchback underneath.
Oh!
Sniper.
Sniper really... Wow. Yeah,
See,
Sniper got really loose.
Yeah, I was watching Carson, so the broadcast camera kind of followed him. And I didn't really see... I saw Sniper disappear, but I didn't really see what happened. But obviously a good recovery. He's only lost one extra spot from that. It's not that bad. Can definitely do some damage from there. Zem's just lost a bit of ground at the back there, trying to get the tires sorted, and Sniper with a huge wobble again. And that's the thing, man. You get these tires cooking early. Like, sometimes you really got to calm the car down, and lap 1 or 2 is not the not the part of the race you want to have to be managing some tires. And then there we go. Nick down the inside. It's not there for him. Now the door is opened.
And there goes
RC.
RC. Wow.
Yeah, just dives right down.
Just a little tap on the shoulder. Excuse me, coming through.
Yeah. Nick went for a move in a tricky spot, and he kind of left the door open for RC, and RC opportunistic dives on that opportunity and takes the place. Gord having a look now. Everybody doing fairly well here in the early stages. Looks like Zem has pit. I wonder if he is just going to get onto the hards and go to the end, perhaps.
Oh, no, DNF.
No, he's
Zem's
given
out.
up. That's not great to see.
That sucks.
I'm not really sure why. It's pretty early in the race to be giving up. I understand the frustration, but yeah, disappointing. I mean, there's probably going to be a safety car at some point, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe something happened at home and he had to quit.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it was probably more so frustration than anything, but I suppose it's better if he parks it and calls it a night if he's not feeling like he's into it. He's probably not going to be the smoothest driver out there if he's frustrated or disappointed or whatever the reason, right? But understandable, given what he did, the hard work in quali, he had a good start and then ends up losing a lot of ground there, so I can see why he'd be frustrated with that. But you know, if he was to pit and get on hards there and then just start eating into the group in front, when they pit, like, you know, maybe there's a safety car and they pit, and or maybe they pit and then you get a safety car and you can get off of your tires.
Right.
There's always possibilities, right? So it's like when it's lap 3, I don't really like to see guys give up on lap 3. I feel like even Zem probably would regret that decision, you know, 10 minutes from now, and he'd be like, ah, man, I probably should have just stayed in the race. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those, like, heat of the moment things where you're like, yeah, I'm done, don't care. And then, you know, probably, yeah, of course, that would happen. I mean, if there's no safety cars and he's just stuck in 14th the whole race, can't make a move, then I could, you know, he'd probably look back and go, yeah, I'm glad I just parked the car. It was a waste of time, but mostly hindsight's going to be 2020, depending on how things pan out over the next half hour or so.
RC to the inside of Sniper gets by.
So tasty little battle forming at the front here. Asylum now has DRS, and he is right on his teammate's tail, and Jinnit is here for the party as well. I wonder if Spin and Winner maybe and Asylum are going to try and work together, maybe try and keep Jinnit behind. Because Jinnit's obviously going to be a big threat here. Yeah, they probably should, yeah.
I would assume that they're in a chat together, hopefully. That's really the benefit to having a teammate that's there with you. You can survey the the track or certain situations, or work together in a situation like this.
I'm not sure. I mean, Spinnowin's, I don't know if he's been in a chat with anyone yet, but Asylum hasn't been here yet either, so they don't really have a rapport at this point in the season, right?
Probably not, yeah.
So the front of the field starting to pull away a little bit. Adri down in P4 is losing ground. But further down the field, if you look at spot up triples, playing a bit of cork in the bottle here for about 6 cars who are now all within DRS range of one another, trying to get up to P7. So pretty much everyone in the field is in points contention at the moment, aside from T-Money and Villeneuve, who's Villeneuve reserving, so T-Money really the last running full-time driver. I'm not really sure why he's so far back. Maybe had an error. He's never really regained his form from the past when he dropped all the assists. Like, kudos to him for running. I don't even think he has the racing line on either, so he's fully no assist, T-Money, but he's been struggling to get his pace back to a point where he can compete for points regularly. He's had a couple moments, I recall, but...
Yeah, this is not the T-Money that I used to race with. He used to be right up there all the time, and he's not finding that pace that he once had.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but he's eaten a lot of time at a Villeneuve there, so he must have just had a moment or something. Or maybe actually Villeneuve's had a moment, because he suddenly lost a bunch of time as well. Either way, T-Money, like, he's in a position where he can kind of just stay in the race, and we have a yellow. That is T-Money, I believe. It's a red car at the back. It is T-Money. So,
yeah.
Is this one of the tracks he hates? Wasn't there like a track that I was surprised he didn't like? And maybe this one. Here we go. Jinnit lining up Spinnowin now. Spinnowin needs to fight like tooth and nail desperately to try and keep Jinnit behind. He doesn't have DRS though to help him, so Jinnit is just going to sail right by, and that's going to bring Spinnowin just kind of dropping like a stone here. It's like Adrian Carson.
Jinnit. A little loose coming out of turn 1 there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Adri's had a moment. He's lost a ton of time. He's gone way back behind Carson now, and he's got a few cars attacking him. Sam suddenly on his tail, and so is RC. So now Adri, from Adri down, everybody's in competition for a P5. That's pretty spicy for the rest of the race. I was going to say though, Carson and Adri were catching Spinnowin, so Spinnowin's struggling to keep up with the front runners and pull away from that other pack just behind. But if Jinnit can't get by Asylum and Spinnowin can hang on to the back of those two, he might be able to just break that little gap and kind of get away. Because it's really just Carson back there now. And I imagine before too long, Carson will be part of this as well. So this is good for Carson. Like we said, P4, he hasn't really strung together those great results as often as he deserves, and maybe trying to change that narrative here, because I believe he's been on the podium in the last couple races, if not 2 of the last 3 races, because I feel like we've talked to him a fair bit lately. So looking at another potential podium here if he can close up on Spinnowin to make a move. And goes RC past Sam, so RC looking pretty racy here. Didn't look great in quali, but he's looking pretty fast in the race.
I don't know if something happened to Spinnowin. Maybe I don't know where he could have got damage. Oh no, and now he has a 3-second penalty. Yeah.
I'm just thinking it's more of a race pace thing. Like, maybe his setup is better for 1 lap and doesn't take care of the tires as well. And we are on lap 8 already, and if the tires are starting to degrade at a fair amount versus your competitors, you probably will start noticing it.
Well, looky here. We got Jinnit within half a second now of Asylum, and DRS coming up.
Yep, this is great news for Jinnit. I'm not sure. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to actually break away if he does get a move done. It might be a whole different story with Asylum behind with DRS. And there comes Carson right on the tail of Spin and Win as well. I don't know if Janet's close enough yet. I don't think so. Maybe through the second part here. Yeah, looks like he got a better exit than Asylum, but it's not going to be long enough to make a move. So he's going to have to sit behind for another lap.
Janet. Oh, he got a little sideways. Oh,
yeah.
Don't hit the... Oh.
Did he hit...
He might have damaged his wing there.
Yeah, he did. It's missing a huge piece. And he just lost it on his own, eh?
Yes, he did, yeah. Got a little loose. And probably tried to go into reverse, and didn't quite get there, and got back on throttle and drove right into the wall.
And the guys behind are going to have to be very careful moving through here, because Janet's going to be pretty clumsy with the lack of grip at the front.
And ornery. He's not going to be happy.
No. You can see his lack of pace in these tight little corners, though. It's just killing him. It's better for him, though, if he keeps these guys behind until he gets to the pit lane. It'll just help him fight back a little bit more later.
Absolutely.
Whoa, late move there from Sniper. Down the inside on Sam, I believe. Or, sorry, it wasn't Sam. It was Spot Up, and Spot Up's run into the back of Sniper, and that's allowed Nick and Gord through some... Really, Janet's wing damage just sort of put all these guys in a weird spot because there wasn't that, like, natural race rhythm. RC and Adri up into P3 and 4. So RC has got by Adri now, and he's up in the podium places.
So right now, let me just let me read Asylum's mind. No safety cars. No safety cars.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
Just go green the rest of the way, please.
The last thing he wants is Janet being within 10 seconds of him at this point. Man, it's unfortunate for Janet. But yeah, what happened there with Spot Up, Sniper and them, just like being kind of caught out by being stuck behind a slow Janet was... It kind of disrupted the racing rhythm that they developed, and there was a couple little bumps there. So I'm hoping everybody in that chunk of cars got through clean without damage, because like they were having a nice little scrap for some good points. It'd be a shame if any of them were taken out of it just by some bad luck.
Yeah, so it was last Wednesday's Tier 2 race. Villeneuve had an incident on his own, damaged his wing. He continued on NP whatever last place.
Yeah.
For another, I think 2, 3, maybe even more laps with the damaged wing. And
Gord's out.
Oh, safety car. Oh my!
Yeah, he lost it on the final corner there. It looks like. It looks like he lost it on the final turn on the lap, which is pretty unusual.
Now what do you do? What do you do for tires?
If you're on the mediums, you have to pit for hards. Yeah, you have to. Now, this is going to work out for the soft guys for sure. Villeneuve pitting, which is a good shout. Janet just pit, and he's pitting again.
And he probably wants to get back onto the mediums. Mediums will probably do 20-plus laps.
You think they'll do 24 laps?
Maybe. Well, there'll be 2 or 3 under safety car.
I don't know, man. I've done a soft to hard strategy here in the past, and it worked, but it was like 8 laps softs, like 25 hard, something like that. I don't know about 20 plus medium laps. That's going to be tough.
So Villeneuve on Wednesday had an incident, damaged his wing, stayed out, and last place, losing time, but stayed out. It ended up helping him out because we had a safety car several laps afterwards. He ended up on track finishing second. However, 2 penalties pushed him back to P4, I think it was. But anyhow, he was, driven all the way to last place. So same with Janet here. Janet, very similar situation. He's back now with the leaders, basically, fresh tires. And we know Janet will go from P11 to P5 or 6 probably in the first lap and a half. So
look at this, spin and win. All the way up to P3 now. So he had pit a couple laps ago, eh?
Yes, he had. His tires are 2 laps old.
Yeah. I wonder if he does have some bad strategy with the car, because, I mean, look at the difference between him and Jinnit, right? Jinnit's pit twice, though, for what it's worth.
So, let's see. So Villeneuve, Private, and Air Nick all jumped onto the softs.
It is a curious choice. I'd imagine that's banking on another safety car.
Or, maybe they feel that maybe that tire wear is so bad that even the hards wouldn't get him to the finish. I don't know.
Yeah, that's possible. If you're going to pit again twice, you might as well just get on quick tires, right?
Yeah, get on the softs and then go to the mediums after, or maybe even soft if you have them.
So it's going to be interesting to see how Spinneman manages this. His tires are slightly older, probably not much, not going to be impactful until later on, but he's got that time penalty as well. So RC and Adri, 4th and 5th, looking pretty poised for a good result today. Sam, Aaron, Nick on the softs. Anyone on the softs, I'm suspect of actually finishing with a good result, just because of what they're going to have to do to get there. But also Jinnit on those mediums. I mean, it's a tall order, but I've seen him do things like that in the past. So
this didn't actually. This hasn't turned out to be that bad for Asylum. He's got Carson in between him and his teammate, but I guess the major threat is Jinnit. Not to take anything away from anybody else in between them, but we know how Jinnit is, and regardless of where he is on track, at the end of the race, you always find him close, battling for podium spot, if not the win. And but for Asylum, this is about as good as it could get. He's got somebody between him and his teammate. And so there's some defense behind him. If he can pull away in the first couple laps, maybe get out of DRS from Carson, he can continue on with his strategy that must still be in play now. I mean, I'm sure he was about ready to pit anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that we're probably going racing at the end of this lap, just based on where the cars are. They got a long way to go before they hit Sector 3, so...
Now, he's been Asylum, that is, hasn't raced in the league for this season, and I'm sure he's played at other times online, whatever, practice. Interested to see how he restarts this race. You could be pretty sneaky, and the really good sneaky ones can pull themselves out of DRS pretty quick. Yeah,
absolutely. It's going to be something that, obviously, like you said, he hasn't had an experience doing yet this season, but obviously those same principles apply over the last multiple years of a Formula One, so he's probably okay. Probably be able to get himself in a good cushy spot when the time comes to pull the trigger. Basically, if I'm at the front, I'm waiting until I know that safety car is in the pit lane. And then, like even right now, I'd be going even slower than Asylum's going.
I would.
Just so I can punch it when I'm ready, and there's no chance that we're going to catch back up to that car.
I want everybody behind me packed up, bunched up, so that they can battle.
Yeah. Looks like he's punched it. Oh, man, he did not get a good exit there. Carson is all over him.
Yeah.
Carson timed that well, and Asylum took a really funky line through there, and there was just no grip. And into turn 1, Carson's going for the lead. I think he's got a better run. Yeah, he had that tighter line. He got more grip. He had a bit of a snap getting the power down, though. So that has brought Asylum back into the mix, and he's got the inside. Still around the outside goes Carson. And he leaves room. Spinnerman coming to sneak into the picture now. Can he make a move? No, so status quo through the first few corners, although it looked really dicey for Asylum. His heart must be pounding. Everybody on cold hards too, right? So
yes,
that was a tricky place to go wheel to wheel.
Asylum, his first race back. So yeah, that's gonna. If he could bite his nails, he would be.
Mm-hmm.
And now he needs his teammate to give Carson issues, but Carson doesn't usually get. I mean, Carson is not somebody that I feel gets flustered.
And Nick on a charge here. He took a really nice lunge on Adri there. Had plenty of grip with those soft tires, so he's in a really good spot to do some damage right now, Nick. We'll see if he can get himself to the front of the field, maybe build the gap.
Love seeing Asylum coming out of the last turn, move way to the inside.
Oh,
way
Nick.
to the inside.
Nick has barreled into the side of RC there. I'm not really sure if RC turned in on him or if Nick was a little aggressive with the move, but Adri and RC now wheel to wheel. Nick is through. I can't imagine there's... it was more of a bump in the middle of a corner. I don't know if you'd call it a bump pass or RC turned in on him or whatever, but very good chance that'll be penalized if it was a bump pass, but Nick can't consider letting him go. He needs to just storm ahead and take the penalty if it comes.
Yeah, so right now this is the time of movement for Nick because he's on the softs. They're 3 laps old. Of course, a couple of laps were under the safety car, but yeah, he's got to. If he wants to make this work, he's got to get by these 3 in front of him. Then hope for a safety car and have everybody pit. Boy, just I don't know how you go to the softs at this point in the race.
So I would say, like, Asylum clearly quicker than Carson. It was imperative that, oh, look at that. Carson moves to the inside to make a defense. Spinwin just stays on the racing line, goes deep into the braking zone, but can't get a move done. And now Nick is part of the picture here. Asylum, though, obviously the quicker driver, so it was super important that he kept Carson behind because that would have just really slowed him up, having to make a move again. But yeah, he did take some pretty... Yeah, he was sort of off the racing line on the restart, which is like you're the one that has the advantage with knowing when you're going to push the power, so you should always be on the grippiest part of the track when you're trying to restart, right? That slight fraction of an advantage you have because you know when you're pushing the gas before the next guy does should be enough to build a gap. So taking funky lines through those corners isn't necessarily a great advantage when you're the lead car. If you're the secondary car, perhaps a good strategy, just because maybe you get lucky and you get on some grip before the guy in front does and you can get a run, but it's not the greatest restart from Asylum, but he gets away with it.
Yeah, and what's going on behind him is exactly what he needs.
Exactly, yep.
These guys battling, and I don't think that Nick got a good enough jump out of that last turn. He's going for it.
He is.
He's going to have the grip. Oh, they touch a little.
Yeah, kind of sold the dummy there. I mean, it looked like he was going to fall in line, and then he kind of pulled out and went for the move, which is probably not the safest thing. I mean, he is new to the league, so it's something, you know, we obviously have to keep an eye on the driving standards. We're not 100% sure how Nick handles himself out on track, but we would like to see... I don't think he did anything wrong there, but if you're going to bump into the guy trying to make a move, you got to make sure that you can't make the move if you need to bump him to finish it, basically. That's something that you need to be considering, and like I said, with RC there could have been a bump pass, right? So
I'm riding on board with Janet here because, of course, he's up to P6 now. Didn't take too many laps. And I imagine Adri will be checked off the list coming down the front straight. Currently within DRS. Can easily overtake by the time you get down that front straight.
okay, so Nick going for spin and win here. He's got another crack at it. See if he can... He's going late again. Just hugs that inside line, and he's running spin and win to the edge of the road here. Looks like spin and win hangs on to it, though, and he's on the inside now. And spin and win returns the favor. So, and Nick's he's looking pretty racy. Yeah, no, he's looking really racy right now. He just needs to make sure he keeps it tidy. This is not a place for it.
Yeah, I'm glad he backed out. He knew it. He knew that was not the place.
Yeah.
But he's keeping spin and win honest. He's making him keep an eye on his mirror.
He has to. He's defending in corners he shouldn't have to be defending in just because of those tires, right? The soft tires is so much more grip than the hards.
Absolutely. Yeah. That alone will make me keep my eyes in my rear view mirror, just knowing that the guy's on a faster tire.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if at spin and win at this point, he has a bit of a cushion behind. You know, this guy's made a couple, I wouldn't say aggressive moves, but certainly not, he's certainly not shy, I'll put it that way. And
Yeah,
I wonder if, I'm not saying let him go, but like, if you don't fight him tooth and nail, he's going to go up and cause problems for the guys ahead of you if you let him go, right?
Yep.
That's my thought process.
And from my point of view, I think that what he was doing was absolutely race appropriate. He challenged. He did. Ooh, ooh. Oh no! Oh, he held on.
Did he have a snap there? I keep missing
he did.
bad angles through that first turn.
And he was to the outside of spin, so that had no effect on spin. But yeah, everything, I think that he did exactly what any racer would do, is try to make that move, and he did leave spin plenty of room. However, I mean, you're going to drift wide a little bit, but he let up when he had to. He realized that wasn't going to happen, so
yeah.
To me, that's great racing.
Yeah, absolutely. He's making an impact in his first race with us, so that's good to see. And like I said, the little bump with RC there, we don't know how much of it was RC turning in and how much was spin and win, or Nick sort of drifting through the corner, maybe collected RC. I don't really know. It was a bad angle we had, but other than that, though, he's race spinning win really hard for the last few laps, and there's been no contact or anything. So looks like he's fitting in pretty well here. Obviously, the tire advantage helps, but I think even if you didn't quite have the pace, that you should for Tier 1, you probably wouldn't be able to race with these guys even on a softer tire. You can see now he's been passed by Adri, so I think he's burned up those tires. He was racing so hard. And that's the other thing I was about to say with spin and win. I was saying, like, maybe you let this guy go, but at the same time, like, how long are his tires going to last if he's doing this, like, darting down this line, trying to take that line, you know, like, he's putting himself off the racing line constantly trying to make a move, so he's putting a lot more wear through those tires, right?
Mm-hmm, yep.
Here comes RC, or Jinnit, sorry. Jinnit looked like he was lining up Nick for a move, but backed out of it. Not a great place to make an overtake anyways. I imagine Jinnit gets by Nick down the next straight pretty easily here.
Yeah, boy, I would imagine that Jinnit is one of those drivers hoping for a safety car along with Nick, Private, and Villeneuve. You know, he's got 9 lap-old mediums right now, and there's still 16 laps to go.
Yeah, it does have a fair way to go.
And they're good 24 lap-old mediums. Boy, they will be junk at the end if they probably at 70, 80% at that point, if not for, even more.
Yeah. So Jinnit now, he's got a good run on Nick here. He can probably get it done under braking. He will. I mean, Jinnit on the brakes, is there anyone better? I mean, if he lines up a move, he rarely fails, right? Honestly, if you think about it, like, how often does he blow an overtake?
Yeah, he doesn't make mistakes.
Other than that odd little half spin he had earlier, which is, I feel like,
terminal mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, like he will do that occasionally, but it won't. It's like once every 5 races he'll have a little half spin, and then a safety car kind of bails him out. And I wouldn't say he's like, he probably should be winning this race right now, in all honesty. But if he can get up to P3 or P2 in the next laps, like, he's going to be in contention to possibly win again.
RC gets another penalty.
So I missed this, but Adri has got by spin and win as well, actually. I was just looking, and spin and win...
Spin and win's boxing.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's... wow, he's got some... I don't know what that fight... Oh, no, spin and win's retired.
He's retiring, yeah.
His wing seems to be intact, so I don't know what happened.
I'm going to guess his setup was awful. Just based on, like, how much pace he's losing. Because, I mean, he's one of the quickest guys here. There's no reason for him to be that slow, right? I think his tires are just taking a beating, and he's probably realized, like, it doesn't really matter what tire I pit to, like, I'm not going to be able to hang. Like, I'm just
Yeah,
losing ground. I agree. I don't think you should retire for that reason, but,
right.
like, I mean, he probably could have brought home a P5 still pretty easily, right? So,
Yeah, you never know. Could be a crash.
what's the thing,
safety
like,
car, next lap or two, you never know.
no one behind that group of cars he was in was going, like, outrageously fast. It's not like he was going to get passed by the whole field or anything.
Right.
But I was wondering if he was thinking, like, he's on hard tires at that point, and they're starting to fall off to the point where he's overheating and they're blistering and he just can't manage them properly, and it might be a situation like that where he's just gone, you know what, I just can't get my tires under control today and I don't want to keep going, so I'm going to guess that's what it had something to do with, but again, I don't really like to see it. I don't like...
I know.
I like, put it this way, look, T-Money's still out there. T-Money has had a miserable night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even with the safety cars bailing him out, he's still had spins and fallen behind again, and he's still out there pounding the pavement. I mean, really, if one more car drops out, T-Money gets a point. Right? Yep. Villeneuve doesn't count. One more car's out of the race.
It's not Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Out.
Right.
Now, is Jinnit?
There it is.
And that's somebody in the pits. That's private.
Yeah, Shechu's retired, so now T-Money gets a point if he finishes 90%.
There you go.
It's that simple, folks. You keep racing, sometimes you get a point. And where would Zimaglis be if he didn't retire on lap 3? I mean, he was in arguably just as bad a shape as Jinnit. Now Jinnit's fighting for a podium.
Yep.
So
yeah,
time and time again, we discuss this, and it proves itself like every single week. Just stay in the race.
Yeah. You wait all week. I mean, I keep saying that every time, too. It's like, wait all week to race, and I know, trust me, I get as frustrated as anybody, and it's awful hard to deal with this at times, but you know what? You got to be thinking about what might be coming up. You never know. You never know. I play golf, and it's always, you hit a shitty shot, forget that one. It might be the next shot that you'll be talking about,
Yeah.
So there's always something to be racing for. You never know.
Yeah, I agree. It's it's frustrating. I don't know. I know this is a track a lot of people don't like as well. I'm sure that probably plays some sort of a factor in it, but yeah, it's tough, man. I know we do a lot of work here, and I'd like to see people put in a, like at least a 90% effort. If it's not your greatest night, like just try to bring it home, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah. Yeah, because not everybody can win. Not everybody can finish on the podium.
No.
There's fun. The fun is racing. Winning is fantastic, but the fun for me is getting into competitive battles on track. And,
I mean, like, is there no pride? Is there no pride? Like, just to go back to spin and win, is there no pride in, like, wow, my car was dog shit. I had to fight tooth and nail to hang on to P6, and I'm glad I just got some points out of it. Like, no pride in that. Like, sometimes it's just not your night, and pulling a result out of your ass is one of the greatest things you can do in this game, right?
Absolutely. I mean, think about Jinnit. Look at Jinnit. He dropped way back, and now, like you said, he's up to P4. Now, are all hopes gone for him if we don't go to another green flag? If we don't get another safety car? Because I doubt he's going to be competitive in another 5 laps with those mediums.
If I was ahead of Jinnit right now, I wouldn't be too concerned about him, unless we do pit. Nope. Obviously, at that point, though, you're probably all going to pit.
So my point is that if you're Jinnit and you're like, well, you know what, I can't win this race, do you quit? No, you don't quit. You just keep trying.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it, man. It comes down at the end of the season sometimes. It comes down to, like, a point or two can decide the title. And, like, for example, I'll be honest, like, T-Money's not winning the championship this year, but that point, and you're having one of those miserable nights, like, say you're Zimaglis or Spin and Win, and, you just bring home two or 3 points, or 2 or 4 points or something, getting around P9, P8. you know, those points at the end of the season, if you do string together all the results that you do expect for yourself week in, week out, you put those things together, and that little 4 points that you threw away on that night you just parked the car,
Yep.
might end up costing you something big at the end of the year. Right? It really is just, yeah, preaching the choir here, but
grab the points.
Yeah.
Grab the points and race. Have fun, because that's what we're here for. It's not all about the win. It's about racing with guys you have faith in that they won't take you out. Race competitively and have a good time. That's the important thing. And if you're dropping out, understandably, there are times when you probably should. But I mean, we've had 2 tonight that kind of make us scratch our heads a little bit, like what happened, why. But
yeah, like what was the reason, or like where was your head at? Mind you, like, I don't think really either of these guys have been sort of habitual, like, it's not my night, I give up. Like, they're not really like that generally. So of course it's going to happen. I mean, it's happened in the past where there's been times where, like, you know, we've seen some guys who, like, never give up, just pull into the pits and park, and we're like, wow, they really just called it a night, eh? Like, you know what I mean? There's some guys that it happens to occasionally. Oh!
Was that a little love tap?
It was. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what happened there, because Adri looked like he was really under control, and Carson just kind of came across the front of his car, and Adri ran into him. I think Carson maybe had a wobble in the corner.
Guys. Oh my God. Talk about tight racing. Wow.
Yeah. Nick's out. He's lost it on the exit of turn 1. Probably another safety car, I'd imagine.
Well.
No. I think we're okay. Maybe okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there, but, like, Carson went deep in the corner. I was wondering if maybe he locked his rears, and Adri's line just kind of took him right into the back of Carson. It was definitely not intentional. Like, Adri looked like completely under control there. There was no, like, dive, bomb, or lunge or anything. He just was braking normally and ended up in the back of the Red Bull. Again, right there, Ginnis run into the back of Carson. So there's something going on where, like, he should be stepping on the throttle and he's not quite on it at the same time as the other guys. Maybe
we might have Ginnis and P2 at the end of this front straight.
Yeah.
Look at him, cut to the inside right away. He's got
Adri.
He might have this.
Adri's doing everything he can to cover it off. Moves late at the end, and he squeezes, but
all 3
Ginnis hangs on. Does he? No. Adri hangs on. Bloody close, though.
Ginnis. Don't get greedy.
There was a little accordion effect there, eh? Like, just Ginnis kind of got too close to Adri, had to get out of it, and then Carson ended up in the back of Adri, or in the back of Ginnis. There you go, T-Money, picking up 2 points. Yes, spitting facts, man.
And to be honest, sometimes it's better off if guys can't control their frustration to go ahead and drive into the pits and to retire. Better that than them taking their frustrations out on track. Not necessarily intentionally taking guys out, but maybe being a little more aggressive than they should and compromising their race and then maybe somebody else's.
Plus they can pick up penalty points, and to go back to Zem, just with him being obviously frustrated at that part of the race. He's like, I'm just seeing red right now. I'm parking the car because I don't want to do anything dumb, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody did anything to Zamoglis. I don't think anybody screwed him over or anything. He maybe just felt hard done by because he finally had a good qualifying result and couldn't convert it. I know. Crazy stuff, man.
Incredible.
That is some incredible racing. 3 wide into turn 1. They all get through clean. There's a little bit of a bump there, but no shock. Yeah, Adri.
Look at these guys.
Oh, jeez.
No. Stop the car, yeah. Back up.
And Adri too. Oh my God. Did you see that? Spot Up Triples came around that corner and basically, I think his light flashed before his eyes. He was so bloody close to hitting Adri there. So, I don't know how you look at that incident.
Maybe
I don't think
it won't be
Carson should have
recorded
been
as
there,
one.
and I don't think Adri left him enough room either. So I don't really know who. You know what I mean? It's like Carson probably wasn't alongside far enough to warrant space, and then Adri probably should have left space. Like it was so fringe that like neither of them should have done what they did. You know what I mean? It's like there's probably that little like gray area where we're like, yeah, he kind of should have got out of that, or from Adri's point of view, maybe he's like, well, I don't know why he was sitting there still, right? But yeah, they both hurt themselves pretty badly there. They gave away a podium potentially because now Sniper's gone through and he's up on P3 now. And the way those three were racing, it was always somebody was going to come out on the short end of it. Not, I guess the two of them did, but
yeah, that was still some great racing. Unfortunately, it just couldn't last, I guess. I didn't see anything egregious. I might have drifted away and looked someplace else, but
no, it's one of those things where like, you know, they were so side by side through that whole sequence that who's to say who should be backing out of that corner at that point, right? But
right,
you got to think on a corner like that, it's pretty high speed. It's nearly flat out. And if you're on the inside and there's not much room, I mean, you probably best to get out of that one, right? So, again, I'm not saying it was either guy's fault. It was all, from what I saw live, looked more like two guys racing hard and they came together more than like you did this wrong or the other person did that wrong, or like I don't really think you could pin the blame on.
No,
it might come out like that. It might be kind of like a 50-50 thing. Like you should have left more room and you should have got out of that, but neither of you did. So you both kind of deal with the result of what happened and we move on because
that results in no further action, NFA.
Exactly, and I think that's
when it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's not to say that that is the case, but it just based on how hard they were racing, how clean they were keeping it up until that point, I don't think anybody did anything egregious. Sam, with a pretty ballsy move there, he's bumped Adri off the track and given Adri some more trouble, and Adri's retired on track. Adri, come on, man. That's a race ban, isn't it? Did we not race ban people for this?
I don't know. I didn't see it. I thought I was on board with Sam and Adri, but I guess I wasn't because I didn't see what happened to Adri.
Well, Sam went for a late lunge down the inside. He bumped Adri, and Adri went deep. Like Adri couldn't turn because he got bumped, so he went off like the runoff into the exit of T1, and then he rage quit. He rage quit DNF. So.
No, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now Team Money has 4 points.
Mm-hmm. Gotta tell you, I'm a little pissed off. Right now.
Well,
I'm sure Adri is too. I'm not saying he doesn't have a right to be mad. He does, because that was clumsy. It was clumsy as hell, and he didn't deserve it. He's raced his ass off today, and he got bumped off the road again by, I don't think Carson really did anything wrong, again, like I said before, but I don't think Sam should have made that move. And ultimately, like, for the sequence to lead to a guy just DNFing on track, like, right after we... it's just, fuck. Like, come on. Seriously. Come on.
Well, on the brighter side, PWR Asylum is now just a little over 3 laps away from winning his first race back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's driven brilliant today. You can't take anything away from Asylum. He's done a excellent job, deserves the win. He fought off his teammate early, fought off Carson on the restart. And Jinnit sort of did himself in with that spin, but he's got himself back to P2, so sort of minimizing damage from that error. And yeah, Sniper snagging a sneaky podium there.
And at this point, it truly his race to lose. I mean, even if a safety car came out now, I just don't think that there's enough time. I shouldn't even say that. Yeah, he wants it to go green the rest of the way, but he does. The great luxury for him now is he's under absolutely no threat. The guy behind him is on 22-lap-old mediums. You just need to drive cautiously. You don't need to push it. in any way, shape, or form, just bring that car home and you've got yourself a W.
Yeah.
And of course, Janet, wow. You know, talk about coming back, right? That's why you don't quit. All of a sudden, he's scoring 18 points right now. Who's got the fastest lap?
It's a good question, actually. I don't know.
Nick. Nick in P11, so
well, that
he's
won't count.
Yeah. They will not.
Because he didn't make it far enough for that to count, so... I don't know. Let's take a look. We'll see who else has the fastest lap besides him. It looks like Asylum does. 19-1. Yep, Asylum. So Asylum's going to pick up 26 points here.
So now, barring him crashing, and I'm going to knock on wood for that because I don't want anybody to crash, but he just can coast home. Let's see, where are the big... Is it Carson's? Carson and Sam are still in a position to possibly move up a position. Other than that, everybody else is pretty well established in their position.
Yeah, Janet's made that strategy work. He is starting to come under pressure a little bit from Sniper, but I don't think he's going to be able to do enough in the next 2 laps to actually have an impact here. Let's see what Carson can do. Carson's right on Spot Up. Spot Up would get into a P4 would be a hell of a result for him. He's going to be so desperate to hang on to this. Team money and time penalty, doesn't matter. Still gets 4 points out of this. Good on him. Literally like the war of attrition. Team money just collecting 4 points by not retiring the car. Like, he didn't drive very well at all and brings home 4 points. That's something to note for people in the future when you feel like you're just going to retire and call it a night.
Carson did not get the greatest of exits out of that last turn. That was pretty much his last real good chance of an overtake. Same with Sam.
Yeah, Sam too, the same problem. And that's the thing, this is the move Sam made on our Adri. I was going to say he probably should pull over and let Adri go through, but Adri was so far off the road that it was kind of like, okay, well, you can't just stop and wait 7 seconds for him or whatever at that point. So I'd imagine that Sam penalty, or that Sam incident, pretty much a cut and dry bump pass, like just sort of, I don't know, it's one of those things where it's like the room is there, but like if you lunge into the braking zone under braking and the guy ahead maintains his racing line, you cannot fault the guy ahead, right?
Nope. And Asylum wins the race.
But here comes Carson with a late move on Spot Up. He's trying so hard to get that move done, and Spot Up holds on for dear life. He keeps the place. Spot Up, all he has to make a couple more turns. I think he's going to hang on to this. He fought that so hard, and kudos to Carson for sending it there. He tried his hardest to get that move done, but it was all clean, and Spot Up hangs on. Great battle with those two at the end. So Asylum, the race winner on his return, and that is a statement for everybody fighting for race wins in this tier and for the championship moving forward. Asylum is back, and he's quick, so want to watch out for him. Janet takes P2. Sniper snags a podium. Good result for Sniper finally. Spot Up will take P4. Excellent result for him. Carson P5. Sam P6. RC P7. Villeneuve's 8th won't count, so we're going to give Team Money P8. And Villeneuve will be... I don't know if Adri made it to... 90%, because he would probably get 2 points if he did, even though I don't want to give him 2 points because I'm kind of mad about him retiring on track. But by the rules, he should get 2 points if he did make 90%. So he might be able to, I don't know. Either way, like what he did is a pretty hefty penalty. I can't remember what our precedent was, but we did set one last season, if not this season already. I believe it was last season, though. So we have a sort of like black and white ruling on that, and it's just going to be what it is. So we'll deal with that as it comes. But either way, I mean, he picks up a couple points, even though he retired. Like, it's not that bad, but he definitely deserved better again. Like, it's the story of the season for a lot of these guys is they just keep getting tangled in things that aren't their fault, and kind of getting screwed out of things, right? And Adri obviously pissed off. I don't blame him for being that way, because he had contact with Carson, and then he had contact with Sam, and I don't think Adri did anything wrong in either incident. The most with the Carson incident, the most you could argue is that he maybe should have left more room, but he was ahead. Like, he was the driver ahead. So where do you draw that line about when you should have to leave room? Anyways, let's run you through the order quickly. Asylum, Jinnit, Sniper, Spot Up, Carson, Sam, RC, Villeneuve, T-Money, your finishers, and then Adri P10. I don't know how many laps he completed. Actually, he got a DNF, not a +3 laps, so maybe he didn't get 90%. We'll have to do the math. Either way, I feel like I'm going to have some work to do in this Discord now. So what happened to Zem? He didn't put his setup in, so his car was undrivable.
Zam. Damn you, Zam.
So who would you do for interviews? Asylum, Jinnit, and Sniper, but we can't get him.
So P4 was oh shoot.
Spot Up? It was Spot Up. Spot Up triples. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's give them 3 an invite. See if Jinnit shows up. I suppose we could invite Carson as well, but I'm not sure if might be a little grouchy about the race as well. I'll take him off the list for now. So Jinnit, Asylum, and Spot Up. Yeah, there we go. I got all 3 of them. There we go. So I've sent the invites. I'm going to go to the Discord and deal with
stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make sure nobody said anything dumb, so I think we're okay.
That's good.
Like I said, Adri's shocking driving. Can't keep racing after being taken out 3 times. Yeah, he's pissed off, obviously, and we kind of knew that based on what he did. But I'm just gonna say now, don't go after anybody in the chat. Just follow your reports. Don't be a cheeky cunt about your reports either. Oh, Jinnit's here. I can tell he's got his washing machine going again.
Yeah.
Or whatever that noise is.
Oh, it's the fan. It's the fan. It's like been 28 degrees.
Oh yeah, and you guys, you know what? It's hot as fuck here too, man. It's like 33, feels 41 today, which is disgusting. But
it's
yeah,
come at the perfect time as well. The kids go back to school this week, and the weather's all banging.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect. Right. Yeah, hilarious. All right. Yeah, GP, take it away when you're ready. I don't know if Spot Up made it in yet.
I don't see him in the chat. So, all right.
I'll have to teach you two how to use transfer your calls to Discord so Sniper can join in future.
I'm sure I can figure it out.
Yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy here.
Yeah, I'll take care of that. Oh my God, it's 9:42. Okay, well, let's do this quick. I didn't realize how late it was already.
Congratulations for your perseverance.
Whoever's typing, might mute yourself for a sec. Whoever's typing, it was so loud.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay.
Yep. Congrats, Jinnit. Didn't look good. However, Bigga and I never counted you out. You correct me if I'm wrong. You went to the softs, right? After your first incident?
No. I went to the hards.
You went to hard. I'm confusing with somebody else. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it didn't look good. I think you restarted in P11. Finish on the podium in P2. Great job. Sticking to it and fighting back.
I'm just annoyed I binned it myself. Like, I just got too excited. I'd done well in the first part, saving my RS. I had a full tank ready to go, like, and launch the attack on Asylum, and then just too eager coming out of that, like, turn 3.
Yeah.
Lost the car, couldn't recover it.
And I was basically I was on board with you, and it seemed like once your car stopped, I surmised that you thought you were in reverse, stepped on the gas, and actually went forward into the wall, probably breaking your wing.
No, there was cars coming forward. I just wanted to try and get off track just in case, like they was going side by side because my car was kind of half along the track, so I just put a little too much gas and clipped the wall. It's one of them. It's me just trying to do the right thing and get out of the way of others behind. Yeah. Especially with ghosting being off.
What condition were your tires in at the end of the race? Those mediums went 25 laps, I think.
68% on the rears.
Oh, that's not too bad.
So I managed them good, like. I didn't push, like, I just... Adri got away, and then he caught Carson, and I could sense something was going to be a boon, rather than them just settle for second and third, which they could have just got away if they just slipped straight into each other every lap. But they started fighting, and that brought me into it, and then I think they got damaged from one of the moves, because they was incredibly slow after that, and then that was it. I look back, coming out of turn 4, and they've both collected each other. And that was game in. And it was just trying to manage the gap to Sniper, who was catching very quickly.
Yeah, and you did a great job once you got into that comfort zone, managing your tires. You did well. You did well given the circumstances of your spin and whatnot. So kudos to you. Great job, P2.
Thank you.
We'll move on now. Go to Spot Up, who just joined us. Spot Up, congratulations.
I'm going to say bye though. See you later. GG Asylum, GG Spot Up. So thanks, Bigger. I'll catch you guys next week.
See you, Jen.
See you, Janet.
See ya.
All right, Spot Up. Great result, buddy. Describe your race to us if you can. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I was super happy with that result. I didn't qualify well and was just sat in a DRS train most of the race, and then things happened. Incidents and spins happened, and was able to climb my way to 4th. The last 3 to 4 laps where I had gotten in front of Carson were very intense, trying to hold them off.
Yeah, a lot happened in front of you. There was some clumsy stuff out there today. I wouldn't say anybody did anything like dumb, like terribly dumb, but definitely a little bit clumsier than we'd like to see generally.
Yeah, so Spot Up, your tire strategy, I forget, what tires did you start on and what tires did you finish on?
Well, starting towards the back, I was going to do something interesting and go medium soft. I felt good about my tire wear. I felt I was, and part of it is just me being a slower driver in Tier 1, but my tire wear was pretty good and I wasn't overheating any of the tires, so I thought I could do medium soft. But then the safety car came out on lap 12, and from there it was a no-brainer to hop onto hards and ride it out to the end.
All right, well, I'm only going to keep this brief simply because we're at least 15 minutes beyond where we normally would be. And but congratulations, great race for you. 3rd place, you were 3rd, right?
I was 4th,
it was
but
4th,
I didn't even know I was supposed to be here. One of my friends was like, hey, they said on the broadcast to hop in or whatever, so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
just the Sniper's on PC, and we haven't figured out how to get him in that quickly yet, so I'll look into it for next week, though.
So great job. Glad you could join us, Spot Up. Always fun to watch your race.
Thanks, GP. Thanks, Bigot.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, our race winner, PWR Asylum, a newbie. I don't think he's ever raced in this league before. Has he, Bigger?
Yeah, once upon a time. He was never this quick, though.
No.
Say that. He's found a lot of
job,
pace this
Asylum.
year.
Congratulations, your first race back, and it was almost never in doubt. Describe your race to us, how you felt and how things were going for you out there.
Well, so in quality, it felt pretty good. I felt a little slow, actually, and I was surprised that I was able to bang out a 15.6, but so the start was all right. I had a couple of big moments. I almost killed my race. I almost bottled it hard, but was able to recover and keep my focus and focus on that 1 second gap.
Yeah, and really after the first, let's see, you started P2. It took you, I think, until lap 3 when DRS came in, and you were able to take the lead over your teammate, and you pretty much held on to it from then on out. However, your race restart was very questionable. It was not a good race restart for you after that safety car. What did you do, and what would you do different next time?
So I actually wanted to start in the middle of the corner prior to the last corner, so the second to last corner. But I actually didn't end up doing that because Carson kind of straightened out and was getting ready for me, so I thought I'd just do a couple more, side swipes and go. But he was ready, so hats off to him. He did a great restart. He really pushed it to me. We were really battling hard there for a couple corners, and it was intense. So I'm glad that he gave me the space. I gave him the space. It worked out all right, but I was definitely under pressure.
Yeah, there were innumerable. There were so many side-by-side battles going through turn 1, 2, 3, and into 4, and really, from what I saw, it was really, really good racing. Nobody was taking somebody out, so it was a lot of fun to see. However, that is very stressful when you're going through those turns with somebody beside you.
Yeah, especially turn 3 and turn 4 through that section. It's a long left-hander, and then it seems like a chicane, but it's not really. But through those corners, it's really tough.
Yeah, because you can almost make the outside pass work in turn 2 a lot of times, and certainly turn 1, if you can maintain your momentum and get good traction, that sets you up for being on the inside of turn 3 or turn 2. We saw a lot of that, but I'm going to wrap it up, Asylum, sorry, but great race. Go back and watch it. You did a fantastic job. As always, Big and I were thoroughly enjoying the battles that you guys put on out there, so thank you for that, and congratulations on your first race back and first podium and your first win.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Good to see you back, and glad we got another quick guy at the top here. This should be fun. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers. We'll wrap it up. We're off to, I can't remember where we're going next week, but we got another Hungary race Wednesday for Tier 2, and next week we are on a calendar now. Off to Bahrain. So we're heading to the Middle East for Bahrain, and then I think Abu Dhabi's the week after. So we'll catch you then, Monday, 8 p.m. Yeah, and we'll be back for that Round 7 Tier 1 next week on Monday, and we'll see you for Tier 2 Wednesday night at 8. Cheers. Have a great night.
Yeah, bigger.
See you.